Hello. Hello, how are you? I would like to talk to you about something that may be helpful to everybody in changing the tone of things that they don't like, how they're going type thing. And I'm talking in this funny accent because when I talk normal, you think I'm crazy. So this may work to get that message or to get just the point into your toolkit of tools of your toolkit. Anyway, I stumbled across this idea by kind of mixing together a bunch of different things I've been looking at over the years, and one of them is spirituality in eclectic, my eclectic homemade version, which looks at a lot of different spiritual lineages, cuts away all the bullshit that some king or some crazy dickhead put in there because it made them feel more of a big guy, and only later we say what a dickhead. But, oh, the phone is ringing. But I'm going to keep talking. And what happens, you find that they mostly say the same thing. And we're always looking for maps and we're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here, because ever since we were amoebas, and that's hopefully does not offend you, like right to lifers or whatever, the guys that believe that we just like popped here. And anyway, I hope that doesn't offend you too much, but ever since we were amoebas, we were like, yo, there's lots of salt over there, and not a groovy place to rub your body over because it's very, acidy or whatever, and I don't like it, so you wouldn't like it. And then we learn, and then when we realize that we have gravity and all that, we understand that, and then the planet's round, then we can do, build bungee jumping parks, and then we realize with gravity we don't have to make like kind of Velcro shoes or nothing like that, because we understand the laws, that law, and every time we learn another law of the universe, usually someone gets smacked because people don't like to figure out that they had it wrong. But anyway, sometime you go like, boom, the world is kind of roundish. And then you could do all kinds of different new things because you learn those laws. Not that it makes any sense that a big giant object would attract a thing just, for no reason. But that's just the way it is, like that's just like every parent says to their kid. But that's not the way it is, man. Because I said so. And whatever his name is, that plays with the Grateful Dead, and what's the keyboard player's name? Anyway, he did just the way it is. It's just the way it is, those laws, yeah. And so one law that everyone's going, hey, look at this shit, man, is that whatever comes around, but it can't not come around is what they're trying to tell us, I think. Meaning that the shit that you think about and you focus your nose on, that's the way, not where your ship's gonna go, but what's gonna come at your ship. And the whole thing is that shit ain't just happening to us, but that there's some sort of a gravitational field around the kepi and the whole like emotional vibratory thing that vibrates and pulls other things that are vibrating similarly to like the like thing that attracts the other like thing. Yeah, like two bad birds of a feather, So you gotta grasp that, because it's a big tool that it's like, almost bigger than gravity, because you got to look at what you're attracting and what you've been thinking, even though you think you're really nice and stuff. But whatever you're getting is whatever you're getting, kind of thing. So I had noticed this one interesting thing when I was teaching this stand-up comedy, that I made a workshop sometime to teach, try, treat. You know, if you can do, you do. If you can't, you teach. So, and I looked at why do everyone shit their pants just standing in front of a room like of people that don't have weapons and are basically probably not going to kill them, but they shit their pants anyway. And I look and I see that we are kind of off the mark. Like, that is the definition of sin. Sin, not a bad thing, just you're off the mark. In Aramaic, off the mark. So, I have a look, right? And the reptile brain, she is made for just one thing. Only one thing, just one job, like, you know, one job. Keep you alive, just keep you alive. That's it, right? So it's got to check anything that it thinks might get you dead, right? Fair enough, right? But the problem becomes, and I don't know when it became, but it's a problem. I mean, there aren't any problems, there are only solutions, but you know what I'm saying. The problem becomes that you can jerk yourself off with that little circuitry, right? You can, especially if you're not feeling very connected to your higher source of a lot of freaking power, and you feel like you should be, you can get a little bit of a spike of feeling that you're alive by making believe that something is threatening you, right? But you don't make believe, you make believe. You forget that you make believe. And then you start attracting, you give a value to things that scare you, right? Or upset you, or give you a little bit of, the circuitry goes on high alert and gives you a little bit of a jolt and some energy. And if you're criticizing or angry at somebody, you make you feel better than them for sure, because you are the king of whatever you're thinking, right? So that guy's a jerk, and everyone go, yeah. I not only get a little bit of a jolt that he's bad and he needs something to change him, and I have a reason to be angry, but everybody else, I feel close to them because he think he's a jerk too, right? We all do the same shit in different ways, but for today, he's the jerk and it feels really good. But the whole thing is that your brain goes on a whole diet of feeling alive through tiny speckles or big freckles of scary. And what the Course in Miracles calls grievance, which is just a general bitching about reality that you can't change, except to not bitch about it. I know that's like a hyperbole or something, like a something like that. But while you're bitching, you're giving a value to the act of bitching. So the universe goes, you value that, I give you lots of stuff to bitch at. So I come to this through like field work, when I listen to everybody and my own mind, because I'm just as crazy as you are, aren't I? But I have a look, that's the thing, right? I have a look at it, think, the bullshit, the bullshit, the bullshit, the bullshit, the bullshit. And what I see and I hear in the shops, right, and on the street is that everyone, the biggest coin, the biggest euro of getting attention, And I'll digress and say now we're so confused that we forget that we need to hug and really listen to each other and connect so that the mana goes back and forth like nutrition. Yeah, not like the apple that you get in the store anymore that is like a ping pong ball, has nothing in it except a simulation of something. So you give a value to, hey, I stubbed my toe, my dog died, you know, that guy, he broke my heart. That girl's a bitch because she bought an extra pair of shoes on my credit card. Whatever it is, it's a little spike of bad into the reptile brain. It's always got to check it out. Do I need to kill the girl, or do I need to run from the girl, or do I need to freeze? Fight, flight, or freeze. You got basic choices, but the thing has got to look out and give you that spike of, you might die, you might die. You get very, very worn down, so you're like checking it out like the girl that takes the money at one of those toll booths that still gives the money, and yeah, I'm checking, yeah, it's not anything, you know, no, but it's still got to give you the spike, right? Million, and now it's okay, it's not, yeah, check it, no, it's not, no, yeah, no. So the spiral goes around and around, but like in the last 3 days, I have some very, very, very nice friends. They're very evolved, but still they say, and this is like how my mind works when I look, we're talking about people that have made nice accomplishment, music, or in certain different things, and then they always go, but they eat their food weird, or whatever, they, you know, they have that weird ugly thing behind their ear, whatever it might be, some little bichola that they still want to tear that thing down. And I noticed in my family as well, when I was a boy, the closest I felt with them was bitching about somebody else in the family because they understood. But I didn't really take a look at what it did to my adrenal glands and everything else to constantly be bitching and complaining about things to get attention. This person did this person did that, that person did that. So the reptile brain can be tricked into giving you a little bit of a spike. Like when my phone's out of juice, I can still push the button and it'll give me a little bit of a, you need to plug the fucking thing in, mate, whatever that picture is there. You know, that's all. It's not as good as the whole phone being charged. So to charge the phone, you'd have to do something like this woman say, right? And everybody said their own version of it. Everybody. Jeez. Him too. But Byron and Katie say, love what is. And I say dickhead, right? Love what is. Because you have the love energy if you just pick something. You got to find somebody to love. You need somebody to love. You better find just anything. Pick a stuffed animal, but better something, anything to focus good thing on, and don't judge, because once you put yourself on the wavelength of judging, you probably have entered the reptile diet. So you need to stop eating a reptile diet of complaining on whatever thing and replace it. And I know you're not going to like this. This is going to be worse than kale as far as diets go. But you need to love something and love, and that that love actually don't come from the outside in. It's good if it flows everywhere, but much more powerful it flows from you out, because then it's going through you, right? Like whoosh, like whoosh. And it's going in and then out your heart to the other ones that could use it right now, I'll tell you that. So if you say, hey, I don't know about that guy, he doesn't deserve my love because he was a schnook. When he was as confused as I was, you just said the reason for forgiving, because we are all bozos here trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. So if you put a whole big blanket over all the things that you have complaining about, and this is why I think that guys say you cannot serve two masters, or the other guys say like you got to serve somebody, it's going to be this guy or that guy, but you got to have one type of diet, like where you get your jollies from. So if you want to have a little spikes of fear-based, like only more like a zombie. Maybe that's why he say I bring them back from the dead, not from a concert, from like from just. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah. Can't wait for next week, because then we're going to have this. Not very like Joe de Rivis, So the thing that brings that back is if you can just shut that voice up. But you can't. Let me give you a tip. You can't shut that voice up. It's like hate radio. I listen all the time. I got it in my head. You just have to dial in something else and just know that, like a Wendy's, there's nothing I want from there. I don't even need to go there. I know it's there. I see it. I wave when I go by. But I need to eat from the love smorgasbord, which could be playing music, hanging out with friends, laughing, going, listening to some whatever you do that allows you to sneak the love across to somebody else's heart and all that. A tree, for God's sake, anything. An enemy, God forbid, We are all doing the same thing. We just got different software that makes it really confusing. Because the software tells us not to listen to a jerk like me. In fact, I bet some of you are getting quite angry because I'm saying to give up your stash. I'm telling you to give up your stash of stuff, and I think that's what the 40 days was about. That he decided to give up his stash, but it was still running in his head, all that momentum of being on that bad diet. And even though he was pretty good, his diet was really good, but when he really said, enough is enough of this negative thinking, I'm the lot of the world, for God's sake. It took a moment, and give yourself that moment, because you've had a lot of programming and stuff like that. But when you go and you realize that it's a law that your brain is going to chew on that, and you're going to want more of it, and the universe is going to give you more of it. Let's call it an experiment, right? Let's just experiment with just cold turkeying anything that sounds like a complaint or bitch or rage or anger and see where there are opportunities for connection and expressing positivity and gratitude and non sequiturs and, you know, dolphins' feet with, you know, those little, you can buy them. They're about that anyway. I'll try to. I'll post it. It doesn't even matter. But you could distract your ass by anything as long as you did it like a kid, and it was all for fun. Man, any narrative you grab that would take you out of that other master of that kind of addictive cycle of negative thinking, and you'll realize that you're on a much more powerful side of your brain, because what happens when you love is that all your stuff, your cells physically open up, and they're just much more receptive to being cleansed and stuff like that. But also you start having clearer intuition because you can listen, because you're not so busy thinking about all the things that you want to harvest complaints from. Okay? So what I'm saying is you've got, right, like all your apps open and they're all fucking complaining about some shit, but they're different complaints about different, and they're in different styles, but they're mainly some sort of bitching, for God's sake. And they're all running in the background and they're taking a lot of energy. And that energy has got to be taken from being wise and listening to information that's coming in, and a whole nother frequency of inner direction, dare I say it, that transforms your life from trying to make your own decisions, the my will and not thine, and whoa. So you'll hear people like Lady Gaga kind of say that genius ain't genius, it's just getting out of your own way and shutting the fuck up in a way. And I know she didn't say that, she's a nice lady, but I you know. So when you do stop hating shit and relax, you'll relapse a million times, we all do, but get up again and start loving. I'm going to dust myself off and I'm going to start loving somebody right now. Yeah, amazing things happen when you look at that and go, there's nothing from there I want, even though I do it all the time. And deliberately try something different. Try, I don't know, shifting something. But anyway, however you deal with any addiction, probably cold turkey is one suggestion. Just go, whatever the reason. That there's a Zen Buddhist said, if you make any distinction whatsoever, you're fucked. And what the gentleman was saying, I think, right, is that if you go, this is justified to complain about, everything else, I understand what you're saying, Bob, right? But everything else, right, is fucked, right? You're right. But this one thing, I think I'm right about this. I think I'm right. I think they are a bitch, right, officially. And I've got quite a few friends who can back me up about that. They've all said, yes, she is. If you make that differentiation, you're kind of fucked, because you're still got some of that drug to chew on, and it's going to unravel you. You can, I think, healthy drive to change things happens in a very organic thing. It's not like a thing your brain chews on. That's like the cud of the reptile brain trick. So, trying to wrap this up intelligently, and considering what I have on hand, that's quite hard. let's see. What can I channel up? Yes, we are the world. No, but I think why he said you got to be the change is because no one in government is going to say, why can't we just get along? Let's all start loving each other. You're doing a great job as treasurer. I just wanted to tell you that. It ain't gonna happen as fast as you could change your own diet of positive vibration and loving yourself, because when you criticize the other people, your system shits itself because it knows that that means that there's a value to somebody criticizing you for the shit that you tried to hide. So you're just like on high alert, but cool as a cucumber, and that's pretty stressful. So generally, I'm not. But again, it all comes down to the love and opening this is a magnetic center here. I don't know if you can see, it's right there. Magnetic center, and very, very powerful, more even powerful than your leg muscles and your tushy muscle. It is, and your jaw, whatever, like this real powerful magnetic. If you could get that magnetic, you could have tried the things that you like and the things that you and God decide is really what you're here to do, you know, because you guys, you should talk it out by yourself. This is not my job, but you can't talk to him when you're scared of everything, because you'll be scared of him or her or it or anything, the flow, the force, whatever you want to call it. Because while you're in that other diet of being scared of shit so you can be complaining about it as if you don't have nothing to do with it, attracted into your space, or you painting whatever picture you want on it so you can complain about it and harvest it. Usually you say, this person don't really care about me, while you're painting on them something that you can harvest your complaint about, so you don't give a shit about them neither. So it's kind of a mirror image, and it's not what it appears to be. So I'm going around in circles. But the hum I love the strawberries, right? I'm grateful because they're good for me and they taste nice, they're beautiful. I feel like they're a gift from the universe, that plant developed that shit that not a lot of many other animals seem to care about so much. A few, but I like them very much. So I'm happy. I feel full of love for the strawberry, and I even had some yesterday. So once again, I have arrived back at this AdSense pretty much like I did when I began. I don't know what happened since then from now. But I love you very much, and I hope we pass the audition. Thank you.